What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's your boy Noname back at it with another NFL video. Today I got for y'all the top 5 linebackers in this year's NFL draft. Gonna go in descending order, and this time we'll have a bit commentary. As when I did my first list, the top 5 edge rushers, it was without commentary. You guys didn't really like it, so me being the caterer that I am, I'm gonna add in a little bit of spice to it. But I'd like to thank you all for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe if you already are not. Like the video, share it, all that good stuff. And before we actually get into the list, I just want to say Logan Wilson, who is honestly probably my favorite linebacker in this draft class outside of Isaiah Simmons. I really had a tough time not putting him in this list. He would have probably been around 5 or 4 if I did. But it is a healthy linebacker class, and the guy that I have at number 5 that you'll see, I believe he earns that spot very well, but Logan Wilson is a great linebacker, very under the radar. Definitely a pickup you guys should take a look at if you have a chance to, because I really think he's better than what he's being mocked to go at. Let's get into the list right now. So coming in at number 5, we got Troy Dye, linebacker out of Oregon. Quick facts: 6'4", 231 pounds. He has nice tackle production at Oregon. It's very easy to love that tackle production. Good side-to-side range. He has good football IQ, which I've seen on several sites. It's been debatable, but I think it's good enough because he could differ to run from the pass very easily when he's going downhill. And he's a playmaker when he's chasing the ball. He could keep up with ball carriers and hound them down and get them to the ground. So let's get into Troy Dye a little bit. Now the tackler production, as I was talking about, the stats will be up there. As you can see, in each of his seasons at Oregon, dude has had at least 80 total tackles every year, and you could date this back even to high school. He's been just a tackling monster in a way, tracking back all the way to high school, and it seems like it could translate well into the NFL. At least that's what he hopes, that's what we hope and whatnot. But in addition to that, like I said, other websites have said that his football IQ is questionable when going downhill. I don't think so, and I think in the tape that I throw up, I will try to show this, but he's definitely a downhill linebacker. His best production comes out when he's going full speed downhead, when he's trying to shoot through his guys, when he's trying to catch the offense off guard and whatnot. And I find it surprising that when going that fast, he could still see the field, and he could still determine whether or not it's going to be a pass or a run play, and it shows. And because of this, he's very good in blitz sets. Whether it's a blitz set and he breaks off to try and cover a running back or a tight end, or it's a blitz set and he's actually going after a quarterback. And in fact, because of those blitz sets, there's even reports out there, some scouts saying that maybe he's better suited as like a outside linebacker in a 3-4 or a 4-3, more as like that edge rusher rather than a actual linebacker and whatnot. But he's very good. Definitely earned a number 5 spot on here. Like I said, playmaker when chasing the ball and whatnot. What he could improve on is getting a little bit more muscle and his pass protection, but otherwise really good. Now then, moving on, I'm trying to keep these a bit short. Coming in at number 4 is Malik Harrison, linebacker out of Ohio State. Coming in at 6'3", 247 pounds. Very similar to Troy Dye in the sense that he's a downhill and physical linebacker, but he's more physical than Dye. Very aggressive, very competitive, and he cleans up his tackles nicely, a good tackler, and he knows how to study the offense because he was once a quarterback. Now, Malik has really sort of like come into his own in the past 2 seasons. If you look at the stats, which I'll put up once again, in 2016 and 2018, his freshman and sophomore year didn't really do that much. Not sure if that was, also a direct consequence of not really starting that many games and whatnot, but in 2018 and 2019, he broke out and came into his own, getting 81 and 75 total tackles respectively. His sack numbers went up. He even got an interception in 2018, right? So we see that this dude has improved with the more time he has on the field. That's a good sign. Like I said, really physical finisher in the tackling, and his burst speed, his closing up speed is impressive, and he has such good strength when he's on the guys and trying to wrap them up and bring them down. Like I said, a really nice clean finisher. Another thing that I gotta mention is his block shedding when he's up against offensive linemen. Has nice hand movement and hand chop. Got a good hand pop, actually, kind of similar to some edge rushers out there, that allows him to get off the blocks and get around them. Has a really good motor on him, never really gives up on the plays, and this shows when he's being very competitive on the field. This is somebody that's going to be trash talking a little bit on the field and whatnot, but it's a good type of competitive toughness. And Malik Harrison, really good linebacker out of Ohio State. What he could improve on is a little bit on the football IQ, just not getting fooled by trick plays and whatnot. I've noticed it a little bit. Sometimes he gets tricked, sometimes his reaction time could be a bit slow, but it's definitely something you could improve upon. Coming next up on the list, linebacker out of Oklahoma, Kenneth Murray, 6'4", 241 pounds, explosive athleticism and very twitchy at the line of scrimmage, a powerful and consistent tackler. He moves like a safety in open space and fires into the gaps with that explosiveness that I've mentioned before, and he's really good with football IQ and mental processing. He could diagnose plays fairly well. Now, Kenneth Murray is definitely a jump up from the last guy, and is definitely now we're in another tier of the linebackers here. The next two guys are going to be in their own tier, and obviously the number one, who I'm sure you guys already know who it is, he's in a tier of his own. But Murray, he's a jump up from these other guys, and it shows why. You could just look at it in his tackle production alone. It's a huge jump. He had 155 tackles in 2018. Did drop down a bit in 2019, but I'm not taking too much off of him for that. Kenneth Murray is widely regarded as one of the best linebackers in this year's class. Definitely a first round talent, but also maybe a first day starter, as opposed to the guys before him who maybe would have to sit back a little bit, learn a little bit more on the bench and whatnot before they get up and take that starting position. But not Murray. No, he's almost there where he's got it all, man. He got the playmaking speed. He has a side-to-side quickness, which he uses and helps him out in two main things right here: tackling and mental processing. All right, he already has a big frame, a long wingspan and whatnot that he uses to his advantage when it comes to getting guys that are running or just bringing down the offensive players. But that's also helped out by his mental processing. I really do think he sees things more quickly than, say, other guys on his team and whatnot. It allows him to have a nice flow on the game. Maybe it's even in like his instincts, just instinctively he knows where to go. He's in, like, say he's in a crowd of the players and he knows whether or not to decipher who to tackle, to decipher if he's going to be a bit behind, or to decide where he needs to be. In fact, he thinks about it so much that sometimes you could see maybe he thinks about it a little too much. Sometimes he's a little too away from the line of scrimmage, takes an extra second or so, and maybe overthinks the play and he's caught up. Whatever the case may be, Kenneth Murray, like I said, another tier from the guys before him, a step up, and is a day one starter. Expect good things from him. Coming in at the number 2 spot on the list, Patrick Queen, linebacker out of LSU, coming in at 6'1", 230 pounds, bit smaller than the other guys. Very sharp football IQ and quick to diagnose plays. Impressive understanding of the routes and where to be in coverage. Has fluid lateral mobility and tackling, which equals a great run defense, but don't let that fool you. He's good in the pass coverage as well. Now, Patrick Queen, in this other tier that I spoke of with Kenneth Murray, but just below the top tier that the top guy is in. Now, Queen is somebody who really had a great season this past year with LSU, as I guess most of the LSU players did. And before we even get into Queen himself, like just LSU in general, the past 2-3 years or so, really been a linebacker factory for the NFL. We're talking guys like Devin White, we're talking Quan Alexander a couple years back. Even Deion Jones. Like LSU for the past 2, 3, 4 years even, middle linebackers have kind of been their forte. They've been producing them well, and so to expect good things from Patrick Queen. And Queen in LSU was really more than just an inside linebacker. He was a blitzer, he was a zone defender, he was a run defender, he was a pass defender. He was used as more than just a plain old inside linebacker at LSU. Like I said, they had a great year. They did win the college football championship and whatnot, but Queen really benefited from it. Has great explosive finishes, when he tackles. Like I said, that's harkened back to the fact that he has great lateral mobility. He has that side-to-side range quickness, moves smoothly in space, and his because of his frame, even though it's smaller, he's quicker, and so he makes up for it with that. In fact, he's so quick that sometimes he could even race ahead of blockers and beat them to where they think they're going, and thus get around them, get to the quarterback, and get to the football and whatnot. That athletic ability lends into the passing game where he's able to cover tight ends and running backs out of the backfield. He has balance even when he's tackling. He's not really going to go down on his back or fall down onto the floor of the field unless it's, to tackle somebody and whatnot. Patrick Queen really is the number 2 linebacker out of this year's class. I really expect him to go mid-rounds. I would be surprised if he drops past, like, say, pick 19 or something. But who knows where the NFL draft happens. And coming in at number 1, this should be absolutely no surprise to you guys. Isaiah Simmons, linebacker out of Clemson, 6'4", 238. Without a doubt, the most versatile player in this year's draft. The quote-unquote Swiss Army knife of the NFL. This guy, he's so good that he's in the conversation for best player in the NFL draft. Now, you know me, I think the best player is Chase Young. I think Joe Burrow comes after him, but a close number 2, close number 3 is Isaiah Simmons. And very much so like Chase Young, this guy has it all. He has great tackling, great block shedding, great football IQ, great coverage defense, great run defense, an absolute insane nightmare matchup for any opposing offense. He could play strong safety. He could play free safety even. That's how fast he is. You guys saw that 4.3 time at the 40-yard dash, and you could see it in his tape also. So you could put him at any one safety position if you want to, but you could also put him at middle linebacker. You could put him at outside linebacker as an edge rusher. Now, I don't think he'll fare as well at an edge rusher position versus if you put him at a linebacker or safety position, but I basically just listed off all the positions on the defense except for defensive line, where you're kind of required to have a bigger frame and whatnot. But that's just how Isaiah Simmons is. That's how good he is. You bring him into the NFL, and you can put him anywhere on the field. Now and I'm a Giants fan, as most of you guys know this is one of the reasons why a lot of Giants fans want, Dave Gettleman to take Isaiah Simmons with the 4th overall pick if he even lands there. Like, he could go in the top 3 picks without a doubt. But this is one of the reasons why people want us to take him. You bring him in, and even though he's one player, he will help fill in multiple holes on a terrible Giants defense right now. He will help fill in the middle linebacker spot where we don't currently have a coverage linebacker. He will fill that in nicely. He will help fill in some of the pass rush because of his blitzing ability, and he will help fill in some of the safety issues that we have up there, where we only have one safety, and that's the Jabril Peppers, who, by the way, was very similar prospect coming out of Michigan back in 2016. Now, he wasn't on the Isaiah Simmons level, but I just want to say, Jabril Peppers was also another guy that played linebacker in Michigan along with safety and other roles and whatnot. But there's nothing much to really say here about Isaiah Simmons other than what has already been said. I mean, I guess I could read off his stats to y'all. I'm gonna read off the past 2 seasons. In 2018, 89 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and 1 interception. And then 2019, really where he jumped up and got everybody's attention, like absolutely grasped it and solidified himself as a top 5 player. 104 tackles, 7 sacks, 3 interceptions. He could go into the tackles a little bit, 67 solo, 37 assisted and whatnot, and those 3 interceptions totaled back for 42 yards in the Clemson's direction. But Simmons, what can I say, man? What can I say that has not already been said? Absolutely one of the best players in this draft class. I expect him to be one of the top NFL middle linebackers for the next 10-15 years. That's how good he is. But that's what I got for you all today. It was definitely a little bit harder to do this list with the commentary because I had to limit myself to the amount of things I said for each player. Otherwise, the video would have ended up being 30 minutes long, and I really don't want to do that. But let me know down below what you think. Any linebackers that you thought should have made the list. Do you agree with the rankings? Oh, and like I said, check out Logan Wilson, man. He's definitely worthy of being in here. He's just, just a slight tad missed it out. That's all for now. I'm out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Put your comments down below. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Until next time, I'm out. Yeah.